for joining me again today as we continue our Black History Month video series where we're highlighting Black educators here in the Bootheel. My name is Mary Ann Wright and I'm a 4-H area educator and assistant to the regional coordinator for Lincoln University Cooperative Extension. This program is led by some of the teams that participate in our Lincoln programs. Today's interview is being led by Miss Ebony Lee.
Hello, I'm Ebony Lee and I am a senior at Caruthersville High School. It is my pleasure to introduce Miss Renee Fisher. So starting off, I would like you to tell us a little bit about yourself and your position.
Okay. Good morning. Thank you for having me. I am Miss Fisher here at the Hayti Elementary School. I teach 6th grade literacy here at the school.
Okay. Do you have any additional roles other than in the classroom?
Do I have any additional roles other than the classroom? Yes. I have, I am a mother, I am a daughter, I'm a sister to 3 siblings, and I'm also a grandmother. That's for my external roles. My internal roles as a teacher, I do after school tutoring, and we also offer Saturday school tutoring.
Okay. What fueled your desire to be an educator?
What fueled my desire to be an educator? I will rephrase that question. What continues my desire to be an educator? What continues my desire to be an educator is the light of my students' faces and eyes they give me when they actually can conquer a skill that I have presented. They may not conquer that skill the first day, the second day, but as we go along in the school year, they'll say, "Oh, Miss Fisher, was that what you were talking about back in August?" And I'll say, "Yes, that is what I was talking about." And so it doesn't matter the time length that they conquer the skill, as long as they conquer the skill, that is what continues my fuel as an educator.
That's amazing. I like that. When did you know that you wanted to pursue education?
Pursuing education was a little girl's big dream of mine. My mother always said that I would talk to my mirror and to my dolls as if I was a teacher. And so not right off did I actually want to be an educator, but as I became older, I decided that education was the field that I would choose for a career.
Okay. Is there a mentor who you would identify as someone who encouraged you to pursue education?
I would say the first mentor that I had when I started my education was my now principal, Miss Constant. I don't think she really knew she was my mentor, but I looked up to her as a mentor, and also a retired teacher that I had my first year experience teaching with was Miss Counts. They were my biggest mentors once I became in education.
Who are your biggest influences?
My biggest influences are my spouse. He influenced me every day to get up and be a better teacher for my students. He allows me to put in the extra hours that I do at the schools to be prepared every day. So he would be definitely one of my biggest influences. As far as my co-workers, we influence each other every day just by stepping in the hallways and asking questions. How is it going? How's your day? We'll see you tomorrow. We'll be ready tomorrow. And so we work together as a team to influence each other.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yes.
Did you have any Black teachers when you were in school? How did that make you feel?
Did I have Black teachers when I was in school? Starting out, my kindergarten teacher, Miss Deborah Hood, was my first Black teacher. I didn't know exactly how I felt because she was Black, because I came from a Black family. So I didn't know the difference from not having anybody Black over me. And so, and then my 7th grade art teacher, he was a Black man, Mr. Quitman McBride. And as I go farther in my education, I don't think I had any Black teachers in high school, but I did have one Black professor in college. Her name was Dr. Shanta Smith. And when she walked in the room, eyes were on her. And so I definitely looked up to her, even though she came to me at my last year of college, but she was a big inspiration for me to continue my education.
What are steps you took earlier in life that helped you today? Were you involved in school and community groups?
What steps did I take for my education career? Time. I committed a lot of time for my education career. When I was in school, I was involved in volleyball, basketball. I was drum major in my high school years, and I was also involved playing the trumpet and the baritone.
I did not know you were in band.
Yes.
I never knew you were in band.
Yep.
Did you like school growing up?
I did like school. Most years I received perfect attendance. I enjoyed math the most, and of course recess. I enjoyed other classes like science, and I enjoyed hanging out with my friends. That was the biggest boost for me to get out of bed every morning. I was gonna hang out with my friends.
Little side note, Miss Renee here was my second grade math teacher.
Mhm.
Before second grade, trust me, I did not like math, but she made it a little more enjoyable.
Yes.
She made it a little more enjoyable.
And that's one thing I can say with Ebony being a student of mine. At that time, I was an early teacher. I was learning. You know, when you go to college, they just teach you book work. They don't teach you social skills at all. It's mostly book work. Get this report completed, get this write-in turned in. But the most thing I learned was teaching small students was empathy. And for those who don't know what empathy means, it means the ability to understand others' feelings. And so as I look back on my education years, empathy is one thing that I did not have because I wasn't taught empathy. I wasn't around empathy. It was because I said it, do it my way, and that was the way it's done. And so now I can sit back and I consider another person's empathy in my classroom. I can see another student crying, and now I walk up to that student and I'm like, tell me, why are you crying? Let me know, what is it I can do to help you with your feelings? And so that took a long time for me to understand the word empathy.
What did your path to being an educator look like?
My path to being an educator looked like time, money, and miles. Time because I put in hours and hours of study, nights, weekends. Money because I used my last money for gas, for food to go up and down the highway, and miles. Some days I would travel over 200 miles round trip just to complete my degree. And so that is what my education looked like.
May I ask where you attended college?
I attended college. I started my college out in Blytheville, Arkansas, at Northeast Arkansas College. I received my bachelor's degree in education at Southeast Missouri State University.
What are some of the biggest obstacles you faced in becoming an educator?
Some of the biggest obstacles I faced as becoming an educator was the ability to work around others, the ability to accept others' personalities, the ability to understand that everyone's not going to accept my personality. So just the ability to collaborate with others and know that everyone is out for the same thing, and that's for the good of our students.
Do you feel there are benefits in having a diverse school staff?
I do. Coming from a school like Hayti, which is the majority of African American students, I think they all should at least experience one African American teacher. You know, someone who they can pattern their own life by as they become older, and also so they can understand the same verbiage as they do at home that would benefit them of having an African American teacher.
How do you incorporate social justice principles in your teaching?
In my teaching, I first started home, speaking to my sons about being upright citizens, And then I bring it into my classroom and I talk to my students about standing up for themselves. You know, I have one student, she has low self-esteem about her hair. She loves her hair, but when another student say things about her hair, she kind of feel down. So I told her, I said, it's your hair. It's something that you can be proud of. And I said, stand up for your hair. If a student pick on you about your hair, just tell them, this is my hair, and I'm proud of it.
What advice would you give to those, especially African American youth, who wants to pursue education as a career?
The advice that I would give to an African American student who would like to pursue an education career is to get it completed early. Don't wait until you have so many irons in the fire and that you're trading one iron for another. If you're gonna get it early. Also, get the highest degree that you can while you are young.
Okay.
That is what I would offer as an advice for African American students.
Are there specific things that you do to be a role model for African American youth?
There are specific things that hopefully I'm a role model. I show up, I'm on time, I try to dress appropriately, so they can see me as a teacher and not just somebody just walked in from the streets. So I try to encourage everyone to be themselves, and so that they will feel confident about themselves.
What else would you like to share with us today?
Well, I do want to thank you for giving me this opportunity for this interview. And I also would like to acknowledge you too as my second grade teacher. and know that I was young in education. I wasn't young in my physical body, but I was young as education. And I hope that I was a role model to, if not 2 or 3, at least one that could say, Miss Fisher was my favorite teacher. Or my second grade math teacher, she was my favorite teacher.
Okay. Although I knew you as a person, like, you know, because family, friends. Second grade was my first year being in your class. And although you were tough, you were tough, but you were a good teacher. You taught the curriculum you were supposed to teach. You broke it down in a way that we all could understand, because some teachers, they don't do that. You know, they teach the curriculum, they say, do it like this. And if a student still doesn't understand, they're like, well, I mean, I gave an example, that's all I could do. But you made sure we understood the curriculum, and I do thank you for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me today. This is one of an 8-part series featuring Black educators in the Bootheel. Be sure to visit the Pemiscot County 4-H Facebook page and the Bootheel 4-H YouTube channel for additional videos and more information about 4-H.